here, Professor, I will test you in the worst way. Don't bring a scantron, it's pop quizzes all day. Cause of our chemistry, we do biology.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. This is why America is losing. Sidebar, don't ever rub your eyes after you eat Nashville hot chicken. It's dumb. It'll cost you. Now, the thumbnail is the New York University. So there's a news story of a teacher who teaches organic chemistry. I believe the man is 84 years old. And some students got together and started a petition and got the man fired because he's grading too hard. So, shout out to Edward Anderson. We were talking. He said, I think they just tried to get rid of the teacher because they were tired of him and he old. So they just found a cause to get rid of him. Which, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. And my response was, that does make sense. But I'm like, they shouldn't have fired him for this, though. Because you just emboldened and empowered the students to fire the teacher that would actually have you the most prepared for life. So, but this is how America's been since I was younger, right? People don't realize it, but when people talk about America falling off and not being the quote unquote greatest country in the world, and and people are mad at immigration, but at the same time they employ immigrants because they're not willing to do the labor, or they think they're too good to do the labor, or they're trying to pay cheap because they don't want to pay Americans who have the same skill set. It's like this is why America's losing, because you want to take a shortcut. Now, this teacher is an organic chemistry teacher, which is just a chemistry teacher. Why would you ever, and that's STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, that's STEM. So you mean to tell me you want to be able to be dumb at STEM while you're in STEM? Because I would assume that an organic chemistry class is somebody who needs chemistry because they're working in STEM. So is that going to help you in the long run, getting that man fired? No. What's going to happen if you get a job somewhere? Because this has happened already. You get a job somewhere and your boss is too hard on you because they need excellence. You're going to figure out a way to get them fired. And that's happened in the American workforce for decades. And that's why most times when you go places, you wonder why people are so stupid and incompetent. You're like, how are these people making all this money and they so stupid? Because it is. This is why, how can I say this properly? This is why globally Americans are looked at as stupid. And we're just bullies because we're not smart enough to actually create anything of value for the global society. We need other people to come from other places because they're better at thinking. Because we're a nation who just cheated on the test. And we cheated on the test of the smart person so much that all of the people who cheated off the smart person's test band together and made sure the smart person couldn't get a job. So now all the people who cheated off the smart person are, your middle and upper management of companies, and CEOs and COOs and CFOs. It's like, this is dumb. And you wonder why some people, I'm gonna be a lawyer, and then you hear people talking about, man, these public defenders are idiots. Yeah, because they didn't take it as seriously as other people. Like, the best way I could talk about it is the movie Armageddon. There's a scene in Armageddon where they're talking about how to destroy the asteroid before it destroys the planet. And one of the military heads is like, look, we've got a chief of astrophysics, we've got the best person in astrophysics saying this is what we need to do to destroy this asteroid. Astrophysics. Was it astrophysics? Yeah. And the guy in the room was like, yeah, I went to MIT with him, and he got a C in that subject. So if you want to take advice from a person who got a C, in astrophysics, go ahead. And it was like the general was like, shh, man, I shouldn't be taking advice from this guy then. Because this is what happened with our society. We're going to keep losing. Because at the end of the day, you don't need skill in America anymore. Because finessing, people with skill are basically getting beat down by networking, mean girl style, you're not friends with the in crowd, so we're going to band together and make sure you're not successful. And okay. Now what happens when you have, a society of idiots running the asylum? That's what you have in our government. That's what you have, politically. That's what you have socially. That's what you have in schools. That's what you have in the workforce. Thus, all the things you complain about, or we all complain about. Stupidity. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch you on the next one. Peace.